Okay, so explore your options. A decision always has to be made. And so let's do an example. If you're deciding on a grill, do I buy gas? Do I buy charcoal? If I buy charcoal, should it be designed for briskets or a lump? Do I want a smoker in it? So now I'm going to have to buy smoking chips. It gets complicated as all I wanted to do was have a barbecue.
Yeah.
And then it's going to involve all sorts of options in there, including price, you name it, just to do that. And so what I did was I made up a sheet that I go ahead and give my disciples so that they can go ahead and look at it. Let's see, I'll share it with you right now. So here is a situation where this mother isn't sure if she should go ahead and drive her child to school.
So that's the question that she's trying to solve.
Right. Do I drive my child to school? She keeps saying she wants to take the bus, and I don't want her to take the bus. So I went ahead and put some options down. So I drive, she takes the bus, or my husband drive her. So there's some options. You could have a lot more options, but I'm just giving you 3 for an example. Then we got the pros. I know she got to school because I took her. And then I have, if she takes the bus, I have more free time in the morning because she's not there. She has to get up early, take the bus. And she has friends that ride the bus. And I think that's why she wants to ride the bus so much. If my husband drove her, he'd take her on his way to work. That's a pro. A con would be, it's a gas expense for me. It's out of my way and costs me extra time and gas. If she takes the bus, what if she misses the bus? She has to get up earlier. That's terrible. The buses, they stink. Have you ever been in a bus, school bus? They stink. And a bus might crash.
Yes, this is the head of a mother.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you straight. If my husband takes her, he's always late to work.
Well, that's a con. Yep.
That's a con.
Okay.
A gain would be if I drove her, she gets there safely, and I get peace of mind. I know she's there at school. She got there safe. If the bus was to take her, it would give her independence.
True.
And probably develop some responsibility in there. If my husband was to take her, she does get to school.
But late.
But late. So now what you do is you go through 1 through 10, 10 being the best, 1 and 0 being not so hot. And so I put for a pro a 9. I know she gets to school. That gives me such peace of mind. So they got a 9.
So unpack your 0 to 10 again. 10 being the best what?
So the best as in, I like that pro. She gets to school.
Okay.
And I get complete peace of mind. I'm not at work wondering, did she get to school? Did she get to school on time? If I take her, I know she gets to school on time and she gets there safely.
So it is the best answer of all.
To me, I gave it a 9.
Okay.
I didn't want to show off and give a 10 like it was the perfect one. The cons, I already read those, and I gave that a 3. So they're down there.
Okay. It shows the value of them then.
It shows the value. And getting there safely and peace of mind is way up there. So I gave it a 9. I totaled them and I got a 21.
Okay.
I did the same with if she took the bus, the positives, the negatives, and then
What you
the
gain.
gains.
Okay.
And I did that with my husband driving as well. The always late to work, it got a 1. Notice how low that number is. Because that meant she was going to get to school probably late every day too. So then I look at this after I've written all of this down and I'm seeing, well, the winner looks like it's number 21. I drive her to school because she's going to get there on time. I'm going to have peace of mind. All of that goes great. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's how you would do it if I want to go ahead and have a barbecue. I need to go ahead and buy a barbecue. Well, what are the options? And you could put in those option boxes all the different things. Just like if you were to buy a house, a car, you name it,
Hire somebody. Yeah.
hire somebody. So it kind of looks like the answer would be 21. It would be that I would go ahead and take her to school and such. But now, after you've done those steps, we're going to check back in with God again. I know we did in the beginning, but we're going to check in with him one more time. The initial decision of what I needed to make was the first time checking with God. But now I saw all my options. I've seen the key bullets that are there. And now I'm going to check with God. And when I check with God and I'm saying, well, God, it looks like 21's the answer, I should go with it.
What do you think?
What do you think about that? And immediately in my gut, I'm thinking, I gave a low score on, when it came to her taking the bus. So I gave a low score when it came to taking the bus because what if she missed it? Getting up early, buses stink, bus might crash. Well, she might crash with me too. I didn't consider that. So my emotions were involved in making this chart. So I got to be aware of that. And when I asked God what he thought about this, that's when immediately my gut said, you used your emotions when you made this chart. And I didn't want my baby to grow up so fast, so that only got an 8 when it should be a positive thing to give your kids responsibility to see them grow in independence. But I was trying to hold my baby back. And yeah, and it should have been a big positive that I would have free time. But look how low the score is. It should have been more positive, and that she was going to ride the bus with her friends. I really answered this with a lot of emotions when I gave it its score. So that's important to take into consideration. And when I do that, this one here, she takes the bus, would actually be the choice that would take place.
Yeah. Even the emotional you can see in the husband drive. You can see where it was you drive. You gave yourself a 9 because you got there safely and you had peace of mind, but then you gave the same score. Well, you almost the same answer, but with a whole different number. So yeah, our emotions do play.
Our emotions do play a part. And sometimes we're blind to them. So that's why you got to check in with God one more time. The value is just so important. And then you need to pull the trigger. This is where I find people get stuck as well. They've clarified the issue. They've checked with God. They listed out the pros, the cons, the gains. They've listed it all out. And it's time to pull the trigger. Definitely. And hopefully in a very faithful process, you've realized that you can make decisions, you have strength, and you can do it. Now, it's just not those, of course, that have been abused or traumatized that it's hard to make decisions. A lot of times it could even do with temperaments. So if you're talking the disc, high D is more apt to make a decision quickly, where some other temperaments would do it more slowly, more carefully. And we did do it. We walked out the process so they could list it down if it was too confusing, all the pros and the cons. But after that, you got to be able to pull the trigger. You need to make a decision, or life will make a decision for you. Your girlfriends will stop, and my girlfriends will stop inviting me because I just don't go. Because if I'm using weight as my excuse, and let's say I lost the weight, I'll probably say I need to lose even more weight if I was basing it all off of me going with them.
Yeah. There's a lot of losses that can happen by not making those decisions. This was good. Thank you.
And there's one last thing you got to do, and that's celebrate. So when you do make a decision that was tough and you pulled the trigger, celebrate it. Have some sort of reward. Go out and get a coffee, or just do it makes you fill up your bucket that we had talked about so many times before.
So important.
Yes. All right. Take care.